Hey there, comic book fans. Another big week at the comic shop this week, bigger than the last few. I got 13 comics, including 4 I pulled off the shelf just for the heck of it. Had a couple extra bucks in my pocket. We will start with Manifest Destiny number 11. This came out 2 weeks ago, but my guy arrived damaged to my comic shop, so they had to reorder me a copy, which they did. Nice cover on this one. Crazy jumping guy, American flag. Yes, this comic continues to be good as they danger fight monsters on their way across the United States back in, I don't know, what year was this? 1810? I should know that. I read an entire book on Lewis and Clark once, but it was during Thomas Jefferson's presidency, whenever that was. Good book. And here is Southern Bastards, number 5. Issue 4 ended the first story arc rather harshly, and this starts the second one, where I guess it's almost like a whole new comic. It's kind of like the first story arc was just the prologue, and they are changing things around for issue 5. So jump on issue 5 if you want to, because things are starting all over again. Good comic, sort of a real slice of life of a southern town run by a mean football coach. Sheriff? No, he's got the sheriff in his pocket. He's not the sheriff. But anyway, fun story. Give you a look inside just with that quickly. Nice craggly art. But anyway, Southern Bastards is a good read. And now we have Savage Dragon 199. I just saw on Eric Larson's Twitter feed that this is an all double-page spread issue. So let's give a quick look at that, because I haven't even seen it yet. Oh, look at that. It even opens with a double-page spread. And the opening, look at that. Wow. Wow. He's really going all out with this one. Giant monsters everywhere. Well, that's enough for now. Whoa. That was pretty cool looking. Savage Dragon, whole double-page spread issue. Some nice artwork. One issue away from special double, triple size, whatever it is, 200. It's amazing that he's gotten out 199 issues of this book. It's a fun superhero read. Give it a try sometime. Then there's Saga, number 24. I have no idea who this character is. Looks like John Constantine with that trench coat, even though it might be a woman, who knows. But anyway, I've really enjoyed the last couple issues of this story. It's kind of heated up and gotten violent and crazy and broke up the main couple, and the baby grown-up narrator is moved on to a new phase, and I guess they're introducing a dog with poison around its neck. I have no idea what this issue will bring us. Quick peek inside. Oh, little troll man. Woman with a stick beating people. Hey, let's look through some files. There's excitement for you. We can look through files in a file cabinet. Anyway, Saga's been... it was slow for a couple issues, and now it's picked up. Enjoying it thoroughly. We go with Rachel Rising, number 29, doing a take on the Marilyn over the heating grate in New York City with her dress being blown up, except this time it's over a grave. Rachel, what's her last name? Rachel Beck's grave. This is a pretty darn effective horror book. Witches coming from the deep past to get their revenge on this town, but it's mostly individuals who have been gotten revenge on and who are trying to figure out what's going on with people coming back from the dead and people not dying and nobody knows, and little demon in a girl's body and a little girl's body, and I think we got a killer little yippy dog last issue. But anyway, Terry Moore always does a nice story. His stories are usually about the characters as much as they are about the plot. And it's kind of the same here. The character interactions are what you come for. And some scariness in this one. So I've seen some people lately on YouTube looking for back issues of Rachel Rising, and it's a good series to collect because it's good. Mind Management number 27. I think this one might be wrapping up next year or sometime. I'm not even sure, but I'll miss it when it's gone. Excellent series. We're now delving even further into the past of Mind Management. There's a guy with his umbrella. I think he was introduced to Mind Management. This woman, Maru, wherever she is, that's not her. Interesting too, the comic book, I don't know if these are in the trade. Comic book gives you little field guide notes that kind of add to the story a bit. And they also give you, that's not in the trade, I know these aren't in the trade, these little Mind Management stories they give you at the beginning and sometimes the end. Little Mind Management story on the back. A whole sort of, I don't know what to call this, superhero spy. Well, they're not quite superheroes. They got superpowers, but they're generally not heroes. Spy story. Fun stuff. It's sort of spy versus spy things. The real world doesn't enter it a whole lot because it's so many spy versus spy. And now the bad guy spy side seems to be building forces and winning, and the good guy spy side is all in disarray. So we'll see how much more disarray they got this month. A massive 4 of 6 Ragnarok. I think this series wraps up in 2 more issues too. I think this is the last story arc. Glad I stuck with it. It's kind of been up and down and it's been aimless at times, but I've enjoyed it. I'm only about 1 in 3 on Brian Wood written stories. I like 1 out of 3 of his stories, and this is one of the ones. So it's a story. It's gotten all mystical on us in the last issue too. There's this whole mystical hope for humanity thing going on that's quite weird as they sail around on their little ship hoping to, well, the world has already entered its post-apocalyptic phase, so they're trying to figure out what to do after the apocalypse happens. But it's been an interesting ride with this massive, and I'll be sad to see it end in 2 more issues. And here is Groo versus Conan, number 4 of 4. Not a lot to say about this. It's fun. If you like Groo, it's enjoyable. Not the greatest comic ever. But seeing Groo mixed with Conan is fun. Sergio Aragonés and Mark Evanier draw themselves in the... Oh, Groo and Conan fight. Draw themselves in the issue. See the blend of the 2 art styles is fun. Like I said, if you're not a Groo fan, you'd probably never pick this up. But it's still fun for me. I used to buy Groo back in the day and still do on occasion, and this is one of the occasions. Here comes Harbinger Omega's 3 of 3. I've really been enjoying this Harbinger series. This wraps up a mini. I think they're canceling this book. They may be relaunching. I mean, Harbinger in general. They may be relaunching it. They may be not. I think they may be coming out with a mini series, another mini series. But either way, I've really enjoyed this series. The main villain of the story, Harada, that guy right there, kind of came out of the open. He used to be a behind-the-scenes corporate type villain, but his cover was blown by the Renegades, who I guess are the heroes of the book. It's one of those books where there he is right there, where his cover was blown. So now he was kind of trying to make the world a better place in his own image from behind the scenes. Now he's out in the open doing the same thing, except he's seen as a villain, and his whole ends justifies the means thing can get quite villainous. But it's an interesting book. He's an interesting villain, and the heroes aren't, especially the main hero, Peter, whose name I forget, who's been disappeared in the main book, hasn't been the most heroic of heroes. So it's been an interesting book. I've really enjoyed this one. Here's one I grabbed off the shelf. Little Nemo's Return to Slumberland number 2. I enjoyed the first issue, but I wasn't sure if I didn't even put the second issue on my pull list, let alone the series. But I saw it there and was like, what the heck? I'll give it another try. It's very well drawn, by Gabriel Rodriguez, whichever it is, who does Lock and Key. And they do kind of a take on Little Nemo where he's usually in bed, then he falls asleep and is dreaming, then he wakes up, and it usually ends with him falling. Oh, I guess they're doing a longer story. Stories usually end with him falling out of bed. Look at this. That's some nice little intricate artwork, very reminiscent of Winsor McCay. As he's learning to be Little Nemo-ish here. Wow, nice little cat, but very imaginative. So I figured, what the heck, I'll pick up issue 2. We'll give it a go. I also picked up off the shelf Wayward number 3. I think this is the alternate cover. I don't know. I just picked which cover I liked. Let's see, does it say who does the cover? Colors. Oh, cover art. Is this a Jorge Molina or a Steve Cummings? Let's see, what does it say there? Jorge Molina, so this is an alternate cover. I picked up the first 2 issues of this and was still undecided. Not because it isn't good, I kind of like it, but I got 13 books this week. That's a lot of books. I'm comfortable with, $20, $25 a week, but this week cost me $42 or $44. I can't even remember. And I don't have $44 every week for comics, so this one hasn't made the cut yet, but just because it was there and I had a couple extra bucks in my pocket, I got it this week. Well, with all those other series ending, maybe it will make the cut. And another Image number 1, Rasputin. Once again, I think there's 2 covers to this. I just picked the one I liked. Don't know who did this one. PR. Not overly fond. I wasn't overly fond of either cover. Does it tell us who does the covers? I don't see it anywhere. Based on true-ish events. In other words, they're just making up their own history about Rasputin. He's one of these mystical characters in history who a whole lot is made up about, but none of it's true. But, he's been in a lot of TV documentaries that over the years that I've seen, and I'm not one of those people who's fascinated by the Rasputin character at all. But I figured I'd give it a go anyway. We'll see. And finally, we have a first issue from Black Mask Comics, who I picked up another first issue from them a couple weeks ago and liked it, so I figured I'd give this one a try. I think this was an alternate cover. I don't even know who did it. There's a whole list of people. I think the inside artist did it, God Killer. No idea what it's about. Written by Matt Pizzola, illustrated by Anna Muckraker. Oh man, that one's got me. Weisencheck. But I flipped through it, and like I said, since I liked their last one, I'd give this one a try. Looks vaguely interesting. You can already buy the t-shirt. God Killer. Like I said, liked the cover, flipped through it. We'll give it a read. I'll let you know how it is. So that was my stuff for this week. What did you buy?